So welcome to series 3. Now today it's a Friday, it's the 16th of October. Now the last time we sort of spoke with Steve and Mandy was about 3 weeks ago by the time you watched this video. Now something's happened. As you can probably tell by the thumbnail, the guys have got the key to the door. Now we're going to see a bit more about that later on in the video. I'll just give you a little bit of intro just in case you haven't been watching the previous 2 videos. Now Steve and Mandy come over to Spain in July of this year. Obviously it's difficult with the COVID, but they come over, they rented a property on Camposol. Just to let you know whereabouts we are as well. So we're in the southeast of Spain, the Costa Clida, the Murcia region, just outside the lovely town of Mazarron, on a big urbanisation called Camposol. Now these guys have been there since July. I think about August they started looking at property. Watch the other 2 videos please guys, that'll give you some idea. And the last time that we spoke they were looking at wills. Anyway, as I always say, hope you enjoy the vid. If you've got any questions, we've got a question in this video, but if you've got any questions please add them below in this video. On the next one I'll ask these 2 guys what you want to know. So enjoy the video. We're coming now after breakfast. No, I don't. Mandy and Steve have just come out of the notary to do their wills. Now I've been heard my pronunciation on wheels sounds like wheels, but they've gone to have their wills, W-I-L-L-S, done today. So I'm going to ask them, was it quite a simple procedure?
It was really. We made them put them through the solicitor because it has to be done properly. So we just need a copy of our NIE and our passports and just our beneficiary details. So that was all typed up when we got there and stamped. So the notary came, we went into the little office, notary came and sat down and just read through confirming our name, address and date of birth, who our beneficiaries were. And literally we just signed and then...
So it was done in...
As a witness.
The notary spoke in Spanish and our solicitor translating.
Right, in English, yeah. But it's only obviously in Spain, and it's not...
that was only valid.
It's only valid in Spain, and it's according to English law.
Yeah.
I don't know what that bit means, but I suppose it's done in the same way as it's done in the UK.
And was it too expensive, or was it, you thought, quite reasonable?
I thought it was expensive.
I thought it was expensive, really. I mean,
and have they given you a copy now, or have you got?
We've got
you got a copy as well.
It goes to the. Where did you say that? It gets sent off to
some government body.
The government.
Oh right.
Yeah.
But
if anything was to happen to us, and our beneficiaries wanted to claim on our estate, they have to have an NIE number.
That's right.
At the moment, but he did say, because he said, don't worry about getting NIE numbers now. Yeah. Because it could be another 30-40 years, hopefully, before we knock off.
So if anything was to happen to us and they needed to come over to claim on our estate, they'll have to arrange an NIE.
That's right.
Claim. So we're not rushing into that just yet, hopefully.
So the next procedure now is getting your keys, isn't it, guys?
Yes, tomorrow. It was supposed to be today, due to circumstances beyond our control.
It's going to be
tomorrow. It's going tomorrow. We're doing it tomorrow, so we'll
good.
Set for our keys tomorrow.
And one of the best things about today is that Sean's buying breakfast.
Yeah, because look.
I've already paid.
You've got breakfast coming in, guys. Oh, that helps, doesn't it? If I put anything on it.
Oh, there you go, mate. Thank you very much.
So Mandy's got the small one, and Steve's got the massive. Steve's got the massive. I've got the small one. Here it is. So first of all, I'm going to give a question first from Kim Ballantyne, and what she was asking was, how do you contact to get your UK government pensions paid to you in Spain? Can you have them paid automatically in euros?
Well, we're not actually at pension age, so that's something we're not really looked at yet. But I believe that all you got to do is go on the internet and Google the International Pensions Bureau, and you'll get all the information there. And I would think wherever you are in the world, where you come from, it's probably best to keep an account in that country and have your pension paid into that bank account, and then you can transfer it across.
And the other part of what Kim was asking is, do you know much about healthcare? She's talking about obviously private healthcare.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, private healthcare. We've had a few quotes. I've gone to various companies in the area, and I've had a few quotes about private healthcare, because you do need your private healthcare in place before you can get your residency. So that's our next sort of process of doing that next week. We're going to be looking at the quotes and then going with a company for our private healthcare.
So the other thing was, because Steve and Mandy had their sort of move-in dates moved forward, they organised a removal to obviously coming from the UK to here. I'm going to let them talk about that, because it didn't use the normal method. Anyway, I'll let Steve or Mandy.
You want me to talk
you
about
can answer that.
Yeah, I don't know what Sean Price means by normal. What it was, I say today's the 16th
of
October, and today is the day we got the keys for the property. So the day we're moving in today, but we got a quote for having our belongings shipped over. We were going to have it done over the Christmas period, but it came out to be quite expensive. So we know people in the removals business, and they was fortunate enough to get someone who could do it for half the price. The only problem was it was 2 weeks before we actually exchanged contracts. We go into the exchanging contracts a little bit later on, so we weren't too sure what to do. So what we did, we actually got them to bring the stuff over 2 weeks beforehand, and we was fortunate enough to actually have some of the stuff, the lighter stuff, delivered to our rental address, and all the heavy goods, the owners were good enough to let us bring all that to where we are now. So that worked out quite well. So yeah, we got all our furniture here now, and it works out very well, basically, at the end of the day.
Yeah, we was fortunate enough that Jason from Villa Quest contacted the owner, because I went and spoke to Jason about the furniture situation, and he said that he'll speak to the owner, because obviously she wasn't actually living here full time, because she was sort of in and out of the place, and there was a room that we could store furniture in, so she very kindly agreed with Jason that we could store our heavy furniture here. So that's what we did. We put all the heavy furniture in the spare room that was empty.
Could I ask on how much you sort of was going to pay for your removal costs?
Yeah, well, we got a quote of £3,000, and we ended up paying £1,800 in the end.
So it was quite a big saving, yeah, and that's why we.
But we also, I was thinking, because near Christmas, I've got an English car here, which I've decided I'm not going to exchange to a Spanish plates and that. I'm going to take it back to the UK and sell it there and buy a Spanish car here. So we were planning on, the reason we was doing the removals Christmas time, we're going back just before Christmas, that's the plan, and take the car back. And I was thinking of hiring a van and actually doing it myself, and that worked out, looking into it, with the ferry the fuel and the tolls, and obviously the hire of the van, it would have been about £1,500. And that was with a company that they do one-way drive. So what they do is that you drive the van to Spain, you leave it normally at the local airport, and then they have clients that will drive, they hire the van this end and drive it back to the UK, so the van's always backwards and forwards and it's always full. So that's the idea of that. But that's what I was looking into. But I thought for an extra £300 I ain't got to do none of the donkey work, so that was a no-brainer for me really, to let someone else do it for us.
So the next thing is, obviously Steve and Mandy had moved in a lot earlier than they thought, but I'm going to let them explain what happened on the move-in date, because it was supposed to be yesterday, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah. So what happened was we were due to exchange contracts on the 15th of October, which was yesterday. Unfortunately, we got a phone call on Tuesday saying that the sellers' solicitors had flood and they can't make the notary on the 15th. Could we delay it by one day and exchange complete on the 16th? So that was fine. Yeah, it was a bit of a letdown because we was really looking forward to getting the keys yesterday. So we agreed for it to be on the 16th, which is today. So and then lunchtime yesterday we got a phone call from our solicitors informing us that the seller that we was buying from had passed away. She hadn't been very well, and we knew she wasn't very well, and unfortunately she'd passed away yesterday, and that was before any contracts could be signed. And although she did have a power of attorney, once she'd passed away, that had finished. Her power of attorney was no longer able to sign the contract for her. So it was a bit of a shock for us yesterday, and we wasn't sure what was going to happen with the purchase. Our solicitors have been brilliant. We've used Powell's solicitors, and we went straight down to them. They said, come down, we can have a chat of what our options could be. So we just shot straight back down there, and they went through our options, and what we've done is a rent to buy contract. So it's everything's in place for us to buy the property as planned, but because of the inheritance process we can't actually get the deeds to the house once that's been complete and the beneficiary has got her money and the sale can go through. So the rent to buy contract means we're actually renting this property, but once that process is finished, the inheritance process, which can take anywhere between 3 to 6 months, but due to the COVID could actually take up to 9 months, we're going to be renting the property. Although it's still ours as such. We've got all the electricity in our name, all the water, everything, all the utilities are going to be transferred into our name. So it's just waiting for the deeds really to say that it's our property. But although we are renting, we will get that back once the purchase is complete. We'll get back any money that we've paid out on rent. So we are still moving in, and it is still ours as such, but we just won't get the deeds until the inheritance process is finished.
And the other thing what you've got to remember is that you might think, oh, that's a bit of a risky thing to do, but what it is that because we pay the deposit, if we was to say, well, no, we're going to walk away, we would lose our deposit, which is quite a hefty amount of money. And if the seller or the person who inherits the property, if they decide not to sell, they have to give us double our deposit back, which is yet again, it's a hell of a lot of money involved. So, but we've already been, the contracts have been signed by all parties to say that it's a rent to purchase agreement, and once the actual deeds are passed into the solicitor's name or into the solicitor's hands, they will be in contact with our solicitor,
and they'll just be transferred to us.
The process of purchasing the property will go ahead, and which will probably take another couple of weeks from that date.
So the money that we've actually paid, because obviously all funds had to be in place before contracts were signed, so we've paid the full purchase price. That money will get refunded to us. So they're not holding our money, and we've got
apart from the deposit money.
Apart from the deposit money. So the rest of the purchase price is going to be transferred back into our names, and then once we get the deeds, that money will get transferred back for the completion.
So over the next couple of weeks, Steve and Mandy will be coming here. Steve's got a lot of work to do.
Sean has said he's got his paintbrush out and he's going to help me. He's such a good man.
Yeah. Manana. So in series 4, I'll be coming back probably about a month's time and see how these two are getting on, tidying up the place, getting it to how they want it to be. So as always, guys, got to keep watching. Look forward to the next series. I want to thank Steve and Mandy for giving their time to me to make these videos. Most appreciated, guys. So keep watching.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.